Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Hey, welcome in. We are live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Big 3-hour program lined up today. Nick Bogdanovich coming up next hour to go over, I think, the biggest downgrade of the entire year, potentially, in college football, maybe per his numbers, after what happened on Saturday and some opening numbers in that sport. And we will, of course, Pauly, hit all the games that happened yesterday. We'll get into the opening numbers and where the numbers are at right now for Week 3 in the National Football League. And we will hit this Monday Night Football game several times from every imaginable angle before it kicks off here in a handful of hours. How are you today?
Good. Good weekend, my friend. How are you?
All right.
You still standing? You still standing?
I will get into that a little bit later on. A friendship of mine may be over.
Oh.
After what happened with 2 of my entries in Survivor yesterday.
Oh, no.
Details on that coming up maybe a little bit later on. We have plenty of news to get to, though, after yesterday's action and injuries to talk about. Big-time names now with those injuries, but also Bryce Young, as they have already made the announcement 2 weeks into the season, getting benched, the number 1 pick in the draft last year. They can't even get him more than 2 games this year, and he's already got to ride the pine. We brought this up last week after he was disastrous in Week 1. So was Daniel Jones, so was Deshaun Watson. All these numbers came out. When will he get benched? It was Week 11. Week 11 was the number. So, also, it's very telling, right? The Raiders ballooned up to 7.5-point favorites today, and the total was down to 38.5. After the news of Young getting benched, Dalton's going to be the starter. Point spread comes down, total goes up.
There you go. You don't have to say anything more.
No, that's it.
That's it. Andy Dalton comes in, the total goes up, and the line comes down. There you go. It's catastrophic. It's an unmitigated disaster. Bill Barnwell's right. To bench your number 1 overall pick 2 games into the season, either you know he can't play and it's over and you've already moved on, or you've lost the locker room if you keep him in there. 80 yards passing, 1 of 12 on third down. Their leading wide receiver had 23 yards.
Oh.
And other than that Green Bay game last year, which was the fluke of all flukes, you would look up in every game and he'd have like 150 yards for the game, or everything took place in garbage time. Mm-hmm. It's a joke.
18 so you've been completions, Paul.
Mitch, I'm telling you, it's the Clippers. It's getting the Sterling stink here. You have a lunatic owner. Who would want to go there if you're the number 1 pick? We're looking at Eli Manning territory too, where I'm thinking, maybe I'll just stay in college.
Sure,
you know,
yeah.
I'm not going to
trade me. You're going to take me, then trade me. I'm not going to play for you.
I'm set up to fail. There's been an underdog 31 games in a row, and they can't even compete. Yes, they won 2 games, but they were walk-offs and never led in the fourth quarter. It's a total joke and abomination.
Well, I will say this: it's unfortunate the kid's going to get benched because I think. Yesterday would have been the drop-dead date of hearing about sharp money coming in the Panthers anymore. There's no way. You can't justify betting this team.
No.
And so that's all we heard, right? Oh, 6.5. Oh, sharp money. That's too big of a number. Overreaction to Week 1. No, it wasn't. I'll go one farther here. They are the White Sox if Bryce Young is the quarterback. The Carolina Panthers this year would be the football version of the Chicago White Sox if they kept him in at quarterback, and they would have been fade material every single week.
No doubt. Survivor, this was big for Survivor.
It's huge because the Raiders are going to be an autoplay on my Survivor tickets that I have left without even hesitating. It would have been like Raiders moving on to Week 4. But now that changes things that Dalton's going to be the guy.
Yep. Canales was responsible for fixing Mayfield. Nope. Canales will come in and fix Young. Nope. Not happening.
No. I think he might be unfixable.
And the other thing, you wouldn't play him in the preseason?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, right.
Why? Did you know there was no point? Did you know it was looking like this in practice every week, every day? Is that the reason why?
Huh?
It doesn't make any sense. You wouldn't throw him in there and get him some time and more experience in the preseason as well. So this is shocking.
I will never forget.
They have already said tapped out 2 games into the season.
Number 1 pick 2 years ago. Can't make it to Week 3. That's unbelievable to me.
It is.
And so I will never forget the video, like Frank Reich and McCown, right? Who came out and they were talking to C.J. Stroud around the draft time, one of his visits. Hey, when you come to Charlotte, we're going to play basketball together. The coaching staff wanted C.J. Stroud, talked out of it by the ownership. That's what happens. He's coming out of Alabama, 5'11", $190, give or take. You get what you pay for here, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Who can be surprised by this? He was awesome at Alabama, surrounded by nothing but 5-star offensive linemen and some of the best college wide receivers you're ever going to see. And he's 5'11", 190 pounds, and he can't play lick in the NFL. Surprise, surprise.
Yep, well done. These guys at Georgia who win don't go high. These guys at Alabama before Tua ever did anything in the NFL.
That's right.
Right? But then this guy who was the size of me is going number one. I said it all right before the draft for 3 months. I go, how's he going number one? Look at the size of the guy.
We were beating the just like, how is this possible? What's going on? Why is he favored to go number one overall? What are they thinking here? They traded up for him. That's the guy they targeted. Mm-hmm. They could have had Caleb Williams.
It's all-time bad. It'll go down in the archives as one of the worst because not only do you give up all those picks, you take the wrong guy on top of it. So, and the Bears hopefully are set up here for the future. Although they have a lot of things to fix, but
they certainly do.
Yeah.
So that was not an overreaction. The Panthers are truly that bad. Well, what do you make of coming off of the Sunday night game last night with the Bears? Because it wasn't pretty offensively yet again. And I know that the offensive line did not help him out very much last night. He was under duress pretty much the entire game. This Houston defense is the real deal. They got several guys that can come at you and bring the heat. But 23 of 37 for $174 and 2 INTs. And you saw the frustration by DJ Moore after he missed him when he was open. Yeah. Taking the helmet off, and he wanted to punt that helmet 50 rows into the stands if he could have.
A lot of it, you got to criticize Waldron for the play calling, but also it's the offensive line play. They're not giving him a chance. Can't run the ball at all. Swift, 1.3 yards per carry. Sacked 7 times. 9 penalties, second half offense, punt, interception. He made some bad throws and bad decisions, but they're better off where he just takes off and run too. And the defense hung in there and played well. I can't believe they got the money. That's another thing, how the Bears cover in that game with what happened. Fairbairn continues to be a huge weapon for Houston, but you wasted another great defensive effort, and it's tough right now because this wasn't supposed to happen. They were supposed to be a dynamic offense. You're thinking playoffs. You're thinking 10 wins, and they can't get out of their own way right now offensively. But it starts up front, and a lot of people called it on this network throughout the course of the summer. Offensive line play, worried about it big time, and it continues to be a problem in the first 2 games. Yep. If they don't fix that, it doesn't matter who's a quarterback and who your wide receivers are, because he doesn't have time, and you can't run the ball. He doesn't have time to throw.
Here's a tweet from Austin Gale. Caleb Williams' 3.0 net yards per attempt is the worst for any quarterback in weeks 1 and 2 in the last 10 years. That's where their offense is at right now. But again, you said it. You were spot on. You could have Joe Montana back there with that offensive line, and he's not going to look pretty.
Right. Sunday's key. If you can't move the ball against the Colts, then it's sound the alarms.
How do you not run the football against that team?
Yep.
I mean, look at the Packers' game plan yesterday. It's Malik Willis. Here's the game plan. And LaFleur was asked about it before the game. He's like, it's going to be a heavy dose of Josh Jacobs. They had 200 yards rushing at halftime against the Colts. Mm-hmm. How do you not just help him be the best version of himself this week by getting some protection first off, but then also helping the running game as well by opening up some holes? And they've allowed 470 yards on the ground so far in 2 games, the Colts defense. That it has to be a major part of the plan going forward until that's fixable or until they show signs that it's not going to be a thing.
Yeah.
The teams can just beat the daylights out of them up front.
Yeah. Well, it has to be a better job coaching, too. The first drive was good. It looked like it was night and day from the first drive, and it resulted in points. But after that, after you get off the script, it didn't go well.
Very true. But
it's still a great job defensively to be in that game where you're still in position to win it, but couldn't get the big touchdown.
There's also some other big injuries, and we'll hit this now with quite a few of them coming in. Pacheco, it didn't look pretty yesterday, left on crutches. Initial report was a high ankle sprain. It's way worse than that. It's a fibula, right? Fibula? And he is out 6 to 8 weeks. They got to put him on IR. So according to reports, this came down right before the show started. Kareem Hunt will visit Kansas City tomorrow.
Yep. So we've had Tua, Love, Hollywood Brown, Puka, Kupp, Pacheco. So many big injuries already. Kansas City's down 2 guys now. And Kelsey has 4 catches for 39 yards on the season. But still 2-0. And then Miami signs Huntley, which I like. Tannehill waiting for the best situation. I don't know what that's all about. He'll be waiting all year long. Tua won't retire. See how long he's out. But you bring in Huntley, and that's a guy who's won games in the NFL. I like that move from Miami.
So do I. That guy can play a little bit.
Yeah.
Skylar Thompson, there's a chance that he's a total disaster and might not be able to play whatsoever. Dolphins offense, it's damn good. So you got to bring a guy that can actually move the football down the field. Another one, Amon-Ra St. Brown with the leg could miss time if it's an MCL. That would be a crusher. Love the guy, and I watched the whole game. I was sick to my stomach. I read the box score today like 2 or 3 times going back over it and reliving the game. How the Lions lost that game. They had a first down at or inside the red zone 7 different times, and they scored 1 touchdown yesterday.
Impossible.
They had 460 yards to like 200 for the Buccaneers. They killed them, and they lost the game.
Yep. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
Neither could I.
The two Goff interceptions were horrendous. I can't believe he didn't take shots in the end zone on the final drive, and Dan Campbell and this coaching staff blows it before halftime.
Yeah. By the way, I will say this, Moose Johnson, credit to him on the broadcast. Vita Vea left the game. They were down, and I know that they had multiple guys out, the Buccaneers in the secondary. Vita Vea has been one of the best run stoppers in football for years. They also had other guys out on the defensive line in front 7. Moose Johnson saying, they can't stop you running the football.
I know.
You're not
Ben
efficient. You're not efficient passing right now. Keep running the football down their throats, pal.
Yep. Second week in a row. Something's not right there.
No, something's off.
They better get right Sunday. I think it's overreaction. They should be more than 3 at Arizona. But the early session was bananas. All the upsets. A $100 money line parlay on the Saints, Raiders, Vikings, and Buccaneers paid $15,000. The early session was madness. 6 dogs outright. Straight. I mean, that hadn't happened in a long, long time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was a great day for sports books. Bad for many, many bettors, unfortunately. And up next, we'll get into one more game tonight that we have in Week 2, Monday Night Football. More, by the way, more players who have been hurt from Week 2 coming up here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, one more game, Week 2, Monday Night Football. So line movement here as well. Eagles were 6.5 in at least one of the contests out here in Las Vegas. They are down to 5.5. They were 5, I believe, here earlier at Circa when I walked in. Yeah, that's the number right now, and the total is 45.5.
220 on the money line. How about that? Lowest. This is for you. You need this. Good juju. Get you going. Mr. Kirk on Monday Night Football.
Explain what it is.
This will be big. You know, I got the gold chain on, the money sign, after how he was so good and with the celebration with the Vikings. If not now, when? This will be a good indication of can he move and what does he have and coming off the injury. Because he couldn't move against Pittsburgh. You know, all these weapons, right? Pitts, hardly any action. London, 2 catches. Robinson was great. 2 horrible interceptions. This is big for everyone to see. Primetime Kirk, 3-10 ATS run on Monday Night Football. Get the bling out. Let's go. Because you need this with your future ticket. Also, if you lose this game, you are 2 games behind Tampa and New Orleans already.
Yeah.
And, you're really up against it. You know, just so crazy what's going on with Houston. Second time in NFL history, someone is 2-0 and the rest of the division is 0-2. What the Texans have going.
That's the first time?
Second time.
Second time,
The
okay.
07, happened to the 07 Patriots
as
well. So, okay, let's go.
Thank you for thinking of me.
Yeah, you need it. I mean, this is huge, though. I mean, you have to see, can the guy move and he's able to step? Will we see play action? Can he take some shots down the field? What does he have? This would be a good, because you know they're going to be coming after him tonight.
Now, how random is this? It's the 3rd consecutive year Kirk Cousins has played Philadelphia in Week 2. And I think all 3 games were on Monday Night Football. 2 years ago in 2022, when the Vikings were a playoff team, they got blasted. He was 27 of 46 for 221, a touchdown and 3 INTs. Irv Smith caught a touchdown in that game, tight end, filed that away. Mm-hmm. Last year they played as well. It was a 1-score game. Philly won by 6. Cousins 31 of 44 for 364 and 4 touchdowns. Jefferson they were playing catch up most of that game. Jefferson had 11 for $159. Hawkinson, tight end, had 2 touchdowns. Osborne and Addison each had 1. Consecutive years now where Kirk Cousins playing Philadelphia has hit a tight end for a touchdown. Kyle Pitts tonight?
I hope so.
So do I. You got to get these guys going.
I know. We can't do this again. We can't say, look at all these weapons, and then you bring in the new quarterback, and it looked like it did in Week 1, and it was so bad. So nothing to London, nothing to Mooney. and the touchdown pass. But other than that, nothing to Pitts. The only good thing, the positive, was what Chart said, is how good Robinson was and how they featured him and got a heavy dose. Is that's the way it should be. But for the other side of Philly, now without A.J. Brown, should be a big game for Smith.
You think so?
Should be a big game for Goddard. But also, what is Barkley? I mean, after coming off the 3 touchdowns and what he did, his combined rushing and receiving is 102.5. I don't see why he can't go off rushing and have a big game for the Eagles as well. But
how about, hey, by the way, his receiving yards prop earlier this morning was 17.5. It's taking some money to the over, but I think that makes some sense, right, with no A.J. Brown?
There's an odds boost up at Caesars that I like. Robinson and Barkley have to have 70 rushing and 30 receiving. It's 19-1.
Each of them have to hit that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, combined, they're like 100.5, 99.5 combined. But here, I know you have to get up to 70, but that's got to be the game plan with both coordinators and both teams here. The one thing I did like is how well the Atlanta defense played. But again, your comeback is, who cares? It was Pittsburgh.
Right.
They can't do anything.
Again, did nothing yesterday in offense and won yet another game. That's who they are and what they do. I'll give you one. Looking at, going back over years and box scores and checking both these teams, how about this? Multiple running backs have caught a pass for every team playing Philadelphia in all but 4 games dating back to last year. I'm going to include Deebo Samuel in that one when they play the 49ers because he played running back a little bit there as well. So if you include Deebo, every team has had 2 running backs. For example, Josh Jacobs and Emmanuel Wilson, 2 running backs for Green Bay, each caught at least 1 pass in all but 4 games going back to last year. Tyler Algier tonight to have a catch. 1 catch is minus 130. His receiving yards prop is a half a yard, minus 110 over. He did not have a catch in week 1, but based on how offenses have used multiple running backs in the passing game going back now for a full year plus, I'll take my chances. I laid minus 110 to have at least 1 yard receiving tonight.
London and Pitts both have 50 yards, plus 350.
I want to say yes, but that seems like wishful thinking, right?
I played that. I get Hurts 200 passing, 50 rushing, plus 325.
Okay. I can get there with that.
I'm with you. I don't think he scrambled and ran a lot in Brazil because of the field.
Yeah, so there is this. You can find it's as low as 6-1, always shop around, or as high as 10-1. Jalen Hurts most rushing yards tonight. What if the Falcons, Keon Barkley with no A.J. Brown in the passing game, they limit him to, 58 yards, and Bijan is right around that same number. Hurts can't scramble, a couple of design runs. He can't have 9 carries for 70 yards tonight.
Okay.
And potentially lead at 9-10-1.
Yeah, not bad. I
think there's an angle there for that.
Yeah, good game. But a big one certainly for Atlanta, too.
I totally agree with you.
Sure. Okay, you sitting down? Mm-hmm. So now...
I'd like to stand up, but yeah, I'm sitting down.
What do you think opening kickoff is for a touchback? This is in a span of a week and a half.
Well, I don't even know. I didn't look. What did it go yesterday?
Well, that's the other thing.
You want to save it, or
will you cut it out with the 10 early games? I can't keep track.
It's
okay. So we started the season Chiefs-Ravens. Will the opening kickoff be a touchback? Was plus 280
right
tonight. The cap off week 2, it's minus 230. That's where we're at. Another one. So Adam Chernoff's been on this, and we've talked about it the last couple of days on the show. It's the year of the kicker. Oh, my God, it's the year of the kicker. 55, no problem, right down, except Tucker, right? Everyone but Tucker can make a 55-yarder, no problem. The over 3.5 made field goals is plus 115 on average for the season. It's 24-7 to the over.
Very strong.
At Circa, they put up 2.5. That's 28-3. If you go by that number.
They have 2.5 field goals here.
They offer that, yeah. Now, you're laying $1.80, $1.70 on the juice. But if you go by that number, and what they have for the prime time, it's 28-3. Again, It's the year of the kicker. So, you also, and I hit a 4-team same-game parlay over the weekend as well. I just took the big boys. Aubrey over 1.5, Boswell over 1.5, Dicker over 1.5. So, Elliott's $1.50 to make 2 field goals.
Right.
I mean, this is just...
And Kukin, he's good from 60.
That's right. That's the other thing with the big legs. It's no problem with these guys. You even see what Fairbairn did and how the Bears treated.
How about that weapon?
55, no problem.
It's a layup.
He doesn't even. Ryans doesn't even think about it.
Get out there, kid.
It's 4th and 2. Take the free points.
Hit the net again for me, please.
Which I'll go back to my rant too about why we don't kick field goals anymore and we like to run bogus crap on 4th and 3
right.
as well. So that's again, these props are nuts. How about longest made field goal 46.5?
I know it.
I got Bucker. I got McPherson. I got McLaughlin. Doesn't matter. 55 is no problem. Aubrey will make it from 62 in his sleep.
Oh, yes, he will.
So here it's 46.5 over. You want to go over 2.5? Significant juice over 3.5 plus money. You can go over 1.5. Both kickers. Cuckoo could choose only $1.15. I mean, this is the year of the kicker. Take advantage of all these props.
And to expand on that, right? Because those numbers are going to flip probably by next week with the plus prices going bye-bye on over 3.5 made field goals. How about this tweet from Steve Palazzolo, Pro Football Focus? Passing touchdowns through 2 weeks, if you go all the way back to 2019. Well, from 2019 through 2022, we had more than 100 passing touchdowns in the first 2 weeks every single year. Last year, it was down to 86. This year, it's at 66 going into tonight. And if you look at passing yards per game, it's down significantly from look at this. It's at 193.2 yards per game through 2 weeks. 2016, it was as high as 258.4 per game. Last year, 216.5. And before that, 227.8 and 248.2. But it was consistently in or around 248 to 250 first 2 weeks. Not even close.
So the O-line plays bad. I have to go dink and dunk. I don't have time. Everything's short.
Everything is short.
And then I go conservative once I'm in opponent's territory and I put the 3 in my pocket. Is that everything so far?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Like, look at Aaron Rodgers. That's 2 for 2 to the under. He's not even coming close to sniffing his passing yards prop in these games. It's like 230-ish in that range, right?
The only people that are playing old school football is Seattle. Geno's slinging it.
How about that?
44
passes yesterday.
Yeah. Well, they can't run. Well, New England's great against the run, but the other thing is it's the weapons that he has. And that's just.
And by the way, that's Ryan Grubb, new offensive coordinator. We saw what he did with Michael Penix last year in Washington. But the Packers ran the ball 53 times yesterday. They had 200 yards rushing at halftime. What year are we in?
I know. And then I watched Steichen sling it around, and Taylor's got 12 carries.
Yeah, and he's gashing them.
I couldn't believe it. Stock down big time on Steichen. Horrible job so far this year. Some of the calls he's made and how he's calling the game. Terrible.
Doesn't help that his quarterback was
that's true.
Dreadful yesterday in the game.
Yeah.
We will start diving into the Week 3 numbers up next. This team has now started 0-2 in 10 of the last 12 years. Take a wild guess. It's Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
It's good to have you on board here on a Monday. Eagles, Falcons coming up a little bit less than 4 hours from right now. We'll get into that game several more times over the next 2.5 hours here on the program, Pauly. Week 3 numbers now as we start to weave our way through the games that we have on the board for the upcoming week in the National Football League. Thursday night, juicy. Patriots at the Jets. Look-ahead number depends on where you were looking yourself, either at DraftKings or maybe the Westgate out here in Las Vegas, was Jets 6.5 or 7. Open up about 6.5, down to 6 now on Thursday night. Total is 37.5. Jets were outgained by the Titans 300 to 265. Out first down 20 to 16, but they were +2 in turnovers. Rodgers, as I mentioned last segment, only 18 of 30 for 176 yards, 2 touchdowns, no INTs. Hall did have 114 combined yards. Braylon Allen, 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
Okay. However, they allowed 130 yards rushing to the Titans, 4.6 per pop after getting manhandled against the Niners on Monday Night Football. The Patriots ran the ball yesterday 36 times for 185 yards and a touchdown against the Seahawks. Do I have any reason to believe why the Jets defense can slow down the Patriots running game here?
And the Jets won't be able to run the ball at all.
It seems unlikely.
That's right, absolutely. The Patriots rushing attack is real, and certainly what the Jets You can't run on New England's defense, so that'll be something else that's going to be a problem. And then can Rodgers go off? You can throw on him. We just saw what Geno did.
Sure.
So it's got to be big for Wilson. I know Rodgers said, I want to get more targets and touches to Wilson. It didn't work out that way. And the MVP of the game was Will Levis again. So what he did. But the Jets have been favored once against the Patriots since 2002. They haven't closed 6.5 or higher versus the Patriots since 2000. They're 3-23 straight up against the Patriots since the start of the 2011 season. Thank you, Evan Abrams. If you're real, if you're legit, if you want to go 9-8 or 10-7, you better win this game. And you better do it by at least a touchdown. But it's too many points.
I was really hoping this would be 7. Look ahead out here was 7. I wrote about that at vsin.com. Felt like a pretty good number to grab. If this gets to 7, I will be taking the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
You?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Concur. Yep.
Giants are at the Browns. Browns 7 in this spot, 38.5. Look ahead of them at 6.5. The Giants, here you go. This is your team. 0-2, 10 out of the last 12 years.
I got it, yeah. I got it. I have a whole 3-minute rant ready to go.
Okay. Second team NFL history to score 3 touchdowns, allow 0 touchdowns, and lose the game in regulation.
Yep.
They were outgained 425 to 304 by Washington. The silver lining, how about Malik Neighbors? 10 for $127 and a touchdown.
Dropped the 4th down play, though. Would have won the game. That's a simple catch. Got to held on to that.
Have to.
4th and 4. The other, yeah.
Do you want to lay 7 points with the Browns?
Can't do it. Defense was great. Full marks to what they did, shutting down Jacksonville. But, again, Watson didn't do much. They didn't make
they didn't do anything
plays.
on offense.
No. So, good job. You had to have it. Nice road win. Defense stood up. They were awesome. And you're right. You saw something there with Neighbors. And it's just, it's historic. You nailed it. I mean, how you score 3 touchdowns, you don't give up anything the other way, and you lose in regulation. And the kicking fiasco, what happened in the pregame. So,
yeah, Jacksonville, yet again this week, a disaster in and around the goal line / the red zone.
Yeah, looks like an under, though, too.
30.5.
It should be an under.
I got to tell you, Doug Peterson, safe?
I think he's in trouble.
How could he be safe?
After the collapse last year, Trevor Lawrence has lost 7 in a row.
Is any good?
7 in a row.
How long are we going to wait to say that Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback?
Yep.
I don't know.
You had the safety there late. You allow 16 points at home in a game you have to have. You can't win the game?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I gave the kid a break because Urban Meyer was as bad as you're ever going to see as a head coach at the NFL level in year 1. Fine. Since then, I'm sorry. I know that the second half of the year 2 years ago and then the comeback against the Chargers in the playoffs, that's a small sample size for his 4th year now. And I just haven't seen much at all to make sure that, again, the contract they had to give that guy because they were afraid of losing him. I don't know if he's any good. No. Now, how about this? The look ahead here, and I get it, right? Packers at the Titans, because of the Jordan Love injury, Titans were favored by 1.5. They were bumped up to 2.5. I saw 3 earlier today. And 3s are out there as we speak. The Titans are favored in this game? What? And what, am I missing something? Will Levis.
You just have to laugh
out loud.
He did it again. He did it back-to-back games. Well,
you're watching it live. I'm like, there's no way he just did that.
What do you expect? He puts mayonnaise in his coffee. I mean, that's...
I have to question anybody who likes mayonnaise anyway.
All right. But but Willis did what he had to do. He just did the 3-yard touchdown, the dump off that was some serious yak, and then he throws for 100 yards. And I'm gonna probably rush for 50. I'm gonna give it to Jacobs, and that's gonna be good enough. And what's the other thing? Who's to say they don't rush Love back? I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, they played games with that all week, but he didn't practice. But that's something else too. I can't get on. I think that would be an under.
Yeah. So here was Matt LaFleur. I thought had a terrific game plan yesterday. And he had to do this, right? Because Malik Willis has done nothing in his career to show that he's been a proven passer, right?
So
it's going to be...
Sorry, misleading. Jacobs fumbled at the 1 yard. Excuse me. Yeah, at the 1 yard. It was a touchdown. He fumbles the ball. Take care of it. He's going to easy touchdown.
Yeah,
that was another one.
And Richardson I got killed on this game for the over and for the Colts team total. He was picked off 3 times deep inside Packers territory. So the timing of those passes could not have been worse. First half numbers, think about this for a second. Packers led 10-0. They had the ball for 23 minutes and 5 seconds. It was 262-80 with the yards. They had 237 on the ground at halftime. 14 first downs to 5. That was the first half box score. It was complete and utter domination, and it's as if the coaching staff for the Colts had never heard of a running game for the opposing team. You knew what was coming the entire time. And they had, and I get it, Buckner was hurt in the game, but these are pros we're talking about here. They were, the second half, it got a little bit better, but 237 at halftime, are you kidding me? In the NFL? That's impossible.
Yep.
And so now, as I said in the first segment, they've allowed 470 yards rushing so far in 2 weeks.
Bears got to get something going with Swift.
And that's the fourth game here in this segment. Mm-hmm. Colts were 2.5 on the look-ahead line. They're -1. Total is 44.5. This, you're exactly right. As soon as the props come out this week, you have to look at what they are for DeAndre Swift. He's got to be one of the first guys you look at this week.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter. Rushing attempts, rushing yards, longest run, anytime touchdown. It's going to be factored in at this point. But this game I find very confusing to make a bet on. It's probably going to be a stay away for me overall. On the side anyway.
And Richardson you don't know what you're going to get. I mean, even though he had the 2 great throws against Houston, right. I mean, he hardly had any completions. So there's going to be turnovers. There's going to be bad decisions. There's going to be horrible passes. He's not accurate. But then will the Superman play happen? Well, that didn't happen against Green Bay, other than the long scramble he had on 4th and 11.
Sure.
That's it.
As for Caleb overall last night, again, it was 174 yards passing in the loss, 4.7 yards per attempt, no touchdowns, 2 INTs. His quarterback rating was 21.4. His rating was 51. But the big number is, again, to really stress this today, he was sacked 7 times. Now, what did you make of the roughing the passer late in the game on the Texans? Did you like that call? I thought it was such a bang-bang play. I'm going to lean towards it never being a flag anyway, but I'm always wrong with that because the rules are so ridiculous in my opinion.
Yep. I've had enough of roughing the passer, but the other thing is some interesting clock management there at the end, too, with 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
And what the Texans decided to do.
Yeah,
the fact that they couldn't cover was just staggering. Staggering what happened. I mean, they're in Bears territory, up 9. And they couldn't cover. They couldn't score there, and somehow they're in position where they're just lucky to get out of there with a win.
Yeah.
Couldn't happen.
Yep.
Shouldn't happen. Come on.
I had Texans -6 in the Super Contest. How's that for a push?
So did I. I know.
Yeah.
Right? No one knows football like VEASAN. Limited time. Get your first month of VEASAN Pro, just $9.99. Sign up now. Get every best bet, every host, every guest. 19 hours live programming, proven betting systems, the exclusive betting splits, monthly subscription. Get it today, $9.99, or the entire season for $175 through the Super Bowl. VEASAN.com/subscribe. Become a better. VEASAN.com/subscribe. Great offer. Do it now.
Yeah, there is so much excellent analysis with best bets, by the way, on the site for every single sport, like every single day from multiple people, that it's must-read stuff. I can't even keep up with it myself half the time. So we're going to get into win some, lose some coming up next. You're going to recap everything that took place in the weekend, upsets, middles, line moves. You told me this earlier. One of the worst beats you've ever had?
Yes, I think so. What was done in the first quarter and all what he needed and what happened. Yeah.
Were you
it's up there? I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what happened?
You must have been counting your money.
Yeah, I was.
From what happened. Okay, so that has to do with a weekly leader prop. What was Geno, by the way?
Geno was 20-1.
20-1 most passing yards.
There's big differences in these numbers.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I would look at Caesars and for this stuff as opposed to DK and others. But these are, Geno got there. Nico Collins got there. Josh Jacobs got there. Where were you calling that? Josh Jacobs again. There are a lot of big performances on the ground.
Oh, big time.
One prop cash, too. Longest play from scrimmage.
There you go.
96.5. Yep. Cash at Jefferson.
So Pauly's going to detail one of the worst beats he's had, maybe of his entire life, and they had lost 49 straight in this position before coming back and shocking the world yesterday.
Last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
For the second straight week at Circus Survivor, the most selected team goes out. The Ravens, up 10 in the fourth quarter, lose again. For the fourth time in 2 years, they have blown a double-digit fourth quarter lead. Raiders plus 375 on the money line. The Raiders had lost 49 in a row, down double digits in the fourth quarter. Minshew gets it done.
Yeah.
Oh.
Second straight game, he played really well against the Ravens, by the way, going back to last year.
Yep.
And by the way, Frank B, Pro Better on Friday's show.
Avoid the bombs.
Avoid the bombs.
Avoid the bombs. Adams dropped 2 touchdowns as well. Buccaneers plus 320. I still can't believe it. Saints plus 240. $100 money line parlay on the 4 big dogs early, 15,000. Longest play from scrimmage, 96.5 yards. Cash it. Jefferson, touchdown, 97. Most passing yards, Geno 20-1. Receiving, Nico Collins 20-1. Rushing, Jacobs 15-1. First touchdown of the early game, Saints 20-1. Most points, Saints again 35-1. Fewest points, Panthers, no surprise, 5-1. Highest scoring game, Saints Cowboys 11-1. Low, Steelers Broncos 5-1. Fat man touchdown 7-1. Chiefs get in there. That paid out at DraftKings. Overtime, yes, plus 130. College football, UNLV go fight win, plus 290 on the money line. They beat Kansas on the road.
That was an incredible second half. The coaching they did to slow down and fix what went wrong in the first half with Kansas' offense. Remarkable job by Barry Odom. I can't believe how good this has been. No joke, for 25 years, one of the worst programs in college football.
Toledo plus 330. Hammered Miss State. Georgia State plus 280. Beat Vandy. Memphis plus 220. Takes out Florida State.
Let me ask you this. Was that Florida State dead team walking, or did you think Memphis was just better overall?
A little bit of both.
Eye test told me Memphis was a better football team.
Yeah.
But
the score was misleading, right. And DJ's terrible. Washington State 2-1. Wow. They win the Apple Cup. EPL, Premier League, Ipswich Town, Brighton draw plus 380. Leicester City draw 3-1. Nottingham Forest, Mitch, 12-1. Beat Liverpool on the road. How about that?
Boy, those tickets do not cash every day in the Prim.
How about that? I know. Shocking. UFC 306. Rosas by decision 5-1 to start the card. Swoza submission 28-1 for her to win in round 1, 22-1. Sunday MLB favorites win 13-2. Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com. Our radio and podcast friends, you always want to see these tweets and videos at Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Send it in, we'll put you on TV. Nothing better than a hippo to start the day with the watermelon. We got 2 of them here. That's a little one. Hey, open up. Come on, throw it in there. I got it. Count it. And no problem. Like the Tic Tac.
But look at that.
Crush it.
It looks like a basketball in the guy's hand.
Right.
He throws it, lobs it into the hippo's mouth, and it looks like a Tic Tac.
Sure. Now look at the other guy behind him. How about some bananas? Look at the guy. He opened up behind him.
You ready, pal?
Me? Right. Now look at him. He's like, do you want some? He's like, okay, let me get over there. I got to move my 3,000-pound ass. The other guy wants hors d'oeuvres? Yeah, appetizer? More? Here he comes, finally. There you go. Open up! Open them up! Get in there. The whole bananas. What, 8 of them? No problem.
Banana peels and all, everything is here we
Put
go.
It down, yeah. Watermelon. All right, look at the start again. Open it up, just throws it in like a Tic Tac. Oh, let's go to the Memphis Zoo, Mitch. Not the Cincinnati, the Memphis Zoo. Oh, here comes 6,000 pounds.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I got to clean the teeth, Mitch. Got to clean his teeth. Comes right in. Okay, yeah, once a month. No one likes going to the dentist.
Get out of here. No way.
Sure, got to do it. Yeah,
I
got to
question.
take care of them.
I got to tell you, I question everything now. Is this AI? Is this real?
Yeah.
That looks like out of Jurassic Park.
I know. Look, I can't believe how big they are. They got to come in, right? All right, there you go. This is look at the dad, the proud papa here with the baby. Huh? Like father, like son. I did that. Sure. Yeah. Tail wagging, the little guy. Get the same face. Huh? That's awesome with the puppy. The puppy and the dad. Look at him.
Oh,
that
there you go.
Kiss. That is awesome. Excellent. Plenty of loose some. UFC, 8 of the 10 fights went to decision. I don't know what that was, playing grab ass in the last 2 fights either. Dana White not happy. I don't blame him. Chiefs 3.5 up to 6.5. Buccaneers, Lions over 48.5 up to 52. Florida State win total already under on September 14th. Cash it. Can't go over. Can't go over now.
And there you go, by the way, preseason top 10 team that'll finish unranked.
Yep. Every year but one.
Every year but one.
What was this? Purdue 12.5 down to 7. Game was over in the first quarter. Virginia +2 went off the favorite, lost by 14. Florida, Texas A&M under 49 down to 45.5, no good. Tulsa 20.5 down to 17, routed. Alabama, Wisconsin under 51.5 down to 47. Bama, no problem. Bad for the Bucs. Steelers, Broncos under 40 down to 36.5. Ice cream. Chargers, Panthers under 42 down to 38.5. No problem. Packers, Colts under 47 down to 41. No problem. Browns, Jags under 44.5 down to 41. Easy. Virginia Tech Old Dominion's quarterback didn't play. 13.5 up to 17, easy. Illinois, 18 up to 21, and the under 53 down to 50, 30-9. Air Force is terrible. What is this? Baylor, 13.5 up to 17, 31-3.
How about the Baylor-Colorado number this week now?
Yeah, that's funky.
Colorado's favorite?
I don't know. Yeah, Oregon, 14 up to 17. There it was.
Yeah.
Good second half.
Got me good.
Good second half. They got me too. Yep. Bad beats. Here it is.
By the way, no, that number closed 18.5.
What did?
The Oregon game.
Got that high?
Yes.
Oh.
Right before kickoff, I got it at 18.5 with the Beavers.
Marvin Harrison, most receiving yards, 25-1. He had 130 yards in the first quarter. He finished with 130 yards.
And you had him.
And I had him. Nico Collins had 135. Jefferson had 133. Come on.
Salute.
Nothing the rest of the way. Bengals plus 230. Defensive touchdown by the Chiefs. 4th and 16. We're going to win. Oh, here comes the flag. We lose the game.
That's the, what did I see? 17th interception Mahomes has thrown in his career that's been wiped away because of a penalty.
Yeah, that too.
Not so sure about that one either.
League 2. Wimbledon, MK Dons under 2.5. Goals in the 90th and 97th minute to put it over.
Yeah, why not?
Georgia Tech in over. 59-7. Whoop, they played 10-minute quarters in the second half. No action. TCU, money line, $1.40. They led Central Florida by 21 at home in the third quarter. What a game, what a finish. Central Florida wins. Astros Angels under 9. 5-0 in the 8th, 6-4 final. Last night, Dodgers Braves under 9. 2-2 in the 9th. The Braves get a 7 spot. There it is. Win some, lose some. Okay, we got time. I got this under lose some. Our guy John Brown just went. People wanted a review. Fat Sal's. The sandwiches down the street. You want to put the menu up? You can kill the music. Put the menu. Thank you guys. So John had the Fat Bodega. Ground beef, onions, American cheese, onion rings, pickles, lettuce, tomato fries, ketchup, mayo on a hero. I'm looking at the Fat Texas. Pastrami, brisket, fingers, mozzarella sticks, bacon, onions.
Oh, my God.
Cheddar and mozzarella fries, mayo, honey barbecue. The Fat Hot Chick. Nashville hot chicken, mac and cheese bites, coleslaw, pickles, hot Cheetos, fat sauce. The Fat Breakfast. Fried eggs, ham, bacon, sausage, mozzarella sticks, American cheese, tater tots, ketchup on the grilled hero.
Okay, so you're intrigued is what you're telling me.
I got to try it, but is it?
You're not going to have a heart. Look at that.
I know people will go say you can't eat this by yourself. Don't even try.
Well, there's no way. That has a heart attack written all over it.
The Fat Sal is ribeye steak, mozzarella sticks, onion rings, fries, gravy, mayo. Oh man. Fat Sal.
Well, you're going to get your money's worth there, the way it sounds anyway. Like just load it up with the kitchen sink and...
Sal, take it easy. We're
right. Dial it back.
Here.
I don't need all of that stuff on there.
Oh. How about the Fat Falafel? Falafel, cucumbers, the sauce, fries, hummus, olive oil. This is wild. It's wild. It's incredible. All that stuff, you just throw it in. How much can
Let's
we get
go to the farmer's market here, and then to the butcher, and then here you go. Everything we just bought.
Could you believe that beat? 130
that's pretty
yards,
bad.
130 yards in the first quarter.
It would have been worse had he had all over 132.5 or something like that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But the one guy, how about the guy who had the big ticket that paid out? He had under 4.5 receptions, over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yes.
That's impossible.
Yes, and it got
it
there. It
cashed. He had 4 for 130 and 2 scores or whatever it was. Lunacy. Nothing worse in the world when you get red hot with your picks. Revolutionizing the way sports bettors buy and selling advice. You and everyone else links their betting accounts into Juice Reel, and all your betting history automatically loads into free. Nothing worse than when you want to make some picks off your money as well when you get hot. Unlock those picks real talented bettors have their money on. Get paid real money when other people unlock your picks. Fully transparent betting advice from real people only on Juice Reel. Download for free on iPhone or Android, REEL. Grab your phone, download it now. Get the app Juice Reel, REEL.
I'm telling you, during the football season, win some, lose some is a Gatling gun, like on a Predator. Mowing down the entire forest.
It's gone. We hit nothing. What? That's so much. I left a ton of stuff out.
Of course, yes, you had to.
If I include 4.5 moves, we'll be here all day.
Mm-hmm. All right, follow the money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Up next, They might be the Chicago White Sox of the NFL. I don't want to overreact, but coming up.